Friday, it is Debbie, the vibration training lady. Pretty pleased to launch a new product today with Lifepro. And as you can see, I got a few things weighing me down today. One of them is I realized I left my air filter on and I can hear it buzzing. So one moment. Because I'm not loud enough and you can never hear me talk. So yes, welcome. Happy Friday. Tell me where you're from, what you're doing this weekend, what your workout's going to look like, or whether you're skipping it. Today I'm going over a similar product to what we talked about last week. Last week we talked about the new PowerFlow Pro adjustable weight set where you can adjust it in certain increments up to 55 pounds on that model. Today we have bigger, we have better, because that's the only way that Lifepro does it. Today I have just set up, and if I sound a little winded, I apologize. This bad boy here goes upwards of 80 pounds. So, you know, if you like weights, if you have weights, you've worked out with them in the past, one of the downsides to weights is if you have a full set, they do take up a fair bit of room. So what's nice about these incremental weights or these adjustable click weights, whatever they're referred to, is you can get a lot of mass and a lot of variation in that mass in a very compact piece of real estate. So your footprint or how much room is required is minimized dramatically. So I like using weights with vibration plates for a number of different reasons, and I thought I'd combine a few reasons as to why you would work out with weights. But having something like this, I'm really happy for a lot of my guys. We've got some great stuff around the house here, but my husband does use other things in addition. And with this much of a step up, even the 55 pound we did last week with the Pro is substantial for most. But having up to 80 pounds is you can really get into some serious training, some serious fatigue, and you've got lots of room to grow and adjust and just be adaptable in how you're using mass to train for lots of different benefits. So I just want to recap today. This is launching for $239. Normally it's going to cost you $140 more. So $140 off today. It's going to retail regularly around the $399 mark. The value is there just in the shipping. My poor UPS guy having these dropped off at the house. So if you didn't see our demo last week, I'm going to get back into how these things adjust, how you maneuver and adjust different weights between them. I'm winded because I had this thing up on a stool. I had my camera angles all ready to go, and it was sliding around on my stool here a little bit. So I wanted to put a mat under it. So after deadlifting 80 pounds, I had to put it back down on the ground and do it again. So I kind of did a workout already. As I said, if you're just joining us, tell me where you're from. What your plans are this weekend. Hello again, Kim. Love hearing about all of the new Lifepro stuff. These look awesome. They're awesome and they're sexy. They're black. I kind of like black. It goes with all my stuff. So I always wear black. Needed a little more Java. So I just want to give you a little bit about the mechanisms, how these things work, how you adjust the weights. When you get them in the box, there's impact foam. Impact foam is that stuff that leaves the little broken bits, and if you've got a broken piece of styrofoam, the styrofoam's done its job. It's called impact foam, so that if it takes an impact, you know, the bits take the energy and not your hardware. So even though they're black, there's no scratches, there's no buffs, but you will notice that there's plastic and things to get them out. So but they come basically assembled. So there's a base that they sit upon, and then there are different incrementals in the handles. So last week, like I say, the Pro set goes up to 55. On the end here on these, and I'm not sure if you can see them. Oh, bring this a little. This bad boy is heavy. Okay. Did they come too close? Okay, so on the end, and they both adjust the same way. The click buttons on the Max set, the larger set, are yellow, and you simply take your two fingers and you push, and they'll compress, and they pop out. And from here, this is how you unlock them to adjust what size you want to work with. Around the middle of where the handle seating is, it's almost like a dial. I feel like I'm breaking into a safe in some movie or something. So this here, you can go in different increments, and the lowest increment is 5 pounds, 10, 15, 18, 23, 27. You can gradually increase what your tolerance is. You can also, sometimes you're exercising different body parts. I know for me personally, if I'm doing squats or leg exercises, trying to burn myself out quickly is one of the reasons I like to use weights. My legs can take a hell of a lot more action than my arms. So, if I'm doing, my apologies, doing something like a basic squat where you're holding still, you're probably with those big leg muscles going to be able to support more mass than if you're, doing maybe some curls or some deadlifts or something like that. So keep that in mind. And that's one of the things that's probably an appeal for many of you if you are starting to work with weights, and you spent all the money and you painted the wall, and where do you start? Where do you progress? And you're doing this ever changing. Whereas with this, it makes it really convenient. I can see myself eventually probably going to 2 sets. But for my work on the plate, I usually do just use one and hold it center. So I'm maintaining my balance. So this is more than I am ready for. I had it all the way up to the 30 range here. But I just want to show you an example of how this locks up. So I'm going to bring it down to 10 pounds. My ends are out. Once you're at the setting that you'd like, make sure that the number is lined right up with the dial. This is really hard. You just hit the ends, and then you lift your weight out, okay? The bar itself, the mechanism, weighs 5 pounds. So I'll bring this up a little bit closer, and you can see there's all your different mechanisms. You see, it feels like you're breaking into a safe or something. Okay, so you know what? That's okay, but I think I could probably take a little bit more. You seat this back in here. Make sure you're in there. Push those buttons. Let's try 15. 1 click up. Hit the ends again. That feels a little bit better. Okay, so what you are using the extra mass for, what style of exercise you like to do with your weights is going to vary. If you're working with weights now, you probably know your limits, what kind of ranges you're going to be working with. But this just gives a super convenient way to adjust and progress on the fly, if you will. So I'm going to slide this back over to the machine. Okay. So normally if I'm working, with just some 5 or some 10-pound kettlebells, I wouldn't necessarily need the mass here, but I wanted you guys to be able to see the whole set on camera. So how I'm going to combine this just for a little bit of exercise. Doesn't matter if you're a seated person, if you're not able to bear weight, but you want to do some upper body exercise. You could also, we're going to do 2 variations, one seated and how you can just add some weight and do some upper body exercises while you're seated and getting some benefit with the legs. And then we're going to progress to standing with that weight. Why would we want to do that? I'll talk about that when we get there, and I'll make you stick around. So tell me where you're coming from again, because I'm going to do seated here. If you've never worked with weights before, please work on technique first. So if you've never lifted weights, I want you with either of these just to go down to the minimum weight so that you're just working with the bar. I have no weights on here. Okay, the reason for this and where you can get better with your technique if you've never lifted weight, you want to do it properly. The last thing I want you doing is dropping your weight or getting out of balance and hitting your toe or hitting your machine and cracking the corner off it. So if you're not used to working with these, or stability or mobility is a concern, get used to just holding the mechanism before you start adding a lot of weight and challenging yourself. So, pardon me. So for seated use, if you're not used to using a plate and you're getting started for the first time, I recommend a mid to higher speed. You're going to find it a little bit more tonic, a little less choppy. I don't want to destabilize you. So if you're going to start working with weights and incorporating them into any type of positions with the plate, don't play with the slower speeds. The slower frequencies or speed levels, the side-to-side movement, they're like a Bosu ball. They're very wobbly. They're very choppy. And I want you to be more stable and comfortable. So the feet are positioned about hip width apart, and I want you with one hand or two hand, whatever's more comfortable. For this one, I like to put my hands on the ends of it, and I just want you to simply lean over, slowly keep a good core, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and come up. You should not feel like there's pain or wrenching in your back. If you're going too far or you do have an issue with your back, you don't have to extend this fully. Okay, and just try about, 3 to 4 different reps of this. Okay. Part of when you're sitting or getting up out of your chair or spending lots of times in seated positions, You get back fatigue, you get tension in the back. And before we lift up some weights, I just want to make sure your back is a little bit on the loose and limber side. If you do have back issues, it might not be a bad idea. I've got 2 different bar height stools set up here today. I always like having one to sit on for those of you that maybe suffer fatigue. Maybe you took off too much weight off your Power Max and you need to take a break. But by placing your weight set on a chair in front of you, I want to show you another way you can warm up before you even get to the weights. So I want you to just, depending on how tall you are, I want your back at about a 45-degree angle. Your knees are not locked, but they're extended almost. They're just undone, if you will. And you're going to feel a nice wobble in that low back and the hips. So if that previous exercise was fatiguing for you, do those type of exercises. This is a really good way to release tension, but it's also a really good way to warm it up. So the other way, if you are shorter and you need, you're finding you're reaching and you're not really getting much of an angle on the back there, you could lean over and just put the elbows on this. Now, I want to progress to a standing exercise. And one of the reasons I love using handheld weights is by increasing your own mass in your standing exercises, you're going to work those muscles harder. So if your goals are things like weight loss, strength, you're doing athletic training and you're trying to build up endurance, or more strength, maybe you're a lifter and you're competing. One of the best ways to do it is to do your floor-based exercises that you would normally be doing and incorporate some of the motions of those weightlifting activities on the plate. It'll help with your positioning if you're competitive and you have issues, with your posing on stage. You're going to find just by incorporating your warm-up and your lifting exercises onto the plate surface, it's going to naturally improve your posture, your core, all kinds of different things. I have bodybuilders that I have using these types of weights, and I put a board on the machine and they practice in the high-heeled shoes that they have to do their positions on stage. Talk about a way to improve your balance fast. So I want to bring this up. I want you guys to work a little bit. So if you don't have this set, it's going for $239 today, $140 off. Launch price today. I'm going to bring this up to about 15 pounds. So again, we press the buttons at the end. These depress. Oh, hang on. I don't think I have it back in. I didn't put it back in right. Okay. Oh no, I'm having a technical difficulty. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring, with my vault dial here, I'm going to bring it up to 15. Again, to close and lock up the ends, we're just hitting. Make sure it's good and secure. And all I'm going to simply do is I'm going to hold it with 2 hands. I'm going to lap my other palm over the top. I'm going to just rest them for stability on the tops of my quads. And I'm just going to hold still. And you'll feel that increase in mass. You'll feel your body supporting the additional weight. If you want to burn more calories, if you want to work your muscles a little bit harder, if you're able to and you have the range of motion, I challenge you, bend a little bit deeper. Hang on to that weight. Okay? Hold still if you're just working with weights for the first time. If you have been working with weights for quite some time, you can incorporate other exercises. You can turn the position of the weight. Okay? So I'm holding it more like this and do some arm extensions. By making yourself reach out in front of you, your center of mass has changed. Keep those weight on the heels, and you're just going to feel it in different areas. You're going to feel this more in the low back. So a really easy passive way to strengthen the low back. Okay? Maybe I'm working on toe touches and, I just can't quite get there. Another really good way to just hold some hand weights is just lean over and hold still. Relax. I don't want you bouncing. Okay? On this one, if you're going for the toe touch, it's okay to lock up those knees for a second or two. You'll feel it in the hamstrings a little bit more. Okay? And then just slowly stand yourself back up. And you'll feel that extra little weight just stretches you a little bit deeper. Pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to your core. All these type of things. It's just going to challenge you in a different way. You don't have to be a gym buff to add weights or start working with equipment like this. It's just a good investment early on if you're starting with this technology that you can progress with, and it's not going to take up more real estate because now I'm going to go buy a couple of 10-pound kettlebells. Now I'm going to go buy. So I've got kettlebells and plate weights everywhere, and quite honestly, I don't think I'm going to need them anymore. Okay, perfect. So again, just a couple of examples there. If you do lift weights now, you probably know some of the fundamental exercises that you'd like to incorporate into your routine. Perhaps you're doing some floor-based exercises right now and you're not finding them all that challenging. Adding weight or adding mass to your person is a really good way, especially on the weight loss side, to boost the amount of calories we're burning, boost that metabolism. If you're a lady and we don't like to do push-ups, or it's hard for us to get up and down on the ground, there's lots of ways you can work with a set like this, and even just seated on the couch, get some exercises going, do some bicep curls. If you're not sure about what types of exercises to do, there is a basic guide in the manual that comes with this, but you've got the internet. Go onto the internet. Lifepro is not the first person to launch an awesome weight set like this. There's going to be lots of exercises, lots of videos out there if you're looking for something different. And never forget to check out the training site. Lifepro has not only your VIP page for the members, but you have a training site that's exclusive to you guys. So over time, as these new products come out and people work with them and exercise, there's all kinds of examples out there. You're really only limited, I always say, by your imagination and your range of motion. So again, the PowerFlow Max, this set is a range of 5 to 85 pounds. A launch price today of Lifepro is $239, normally $399, which is still really awesome value. The set that we did last week is the Pro, still a great set. The mechanics are exactly the same. Outside of the obvious size difference between the additional plates on this one, the new Max have a big yellow button. Caution, you're going to get stronger, you're going to get more toned. So there's lots of different ways, like I say, that you can incorporate these. And I want to say to my ladies out there, I'm a little old school, and there used to be a mentality years ago that, if I'm lifting weights, I'm going to get big, massive muscles, and I'm going to look like this bodybuilder. And that's just so false on so many levels. It takes a lot of time, a lot of discipline. Bodybuilding, to me and to many, is an art form. It takes a lot of time and diligence to build a body to look that structurally fit. And how you add and incorporate mass is a lifestyle. It's eating. There's so much more to it. So incorporating weights for the everyday person there's a lot of benefits. It increases muscle strength, endurance, stamina. It's going to help with arthritis and joint pain and deterioration of bone strength and all kinds of reasons. But for most of you, it's going to appeal to burning those muscles faster. If fatigue is a concern, if you do have arthritis, sometimes adding weight is a good way to just fatigue faster. Getting those muscles to a point of quit and reducing the amount of time that you're actually utilizing your joints. Weights are a really good way to just fatigue faster and build that strength. And with the incremental weight sets, it's awesome. Like, this thing doesn't take up 2 feet square, as opposed to the weight rack of the days where you need to structurally reinforce the floor underneath it as well. That's another thing to consider. So I hope that gave you my cheesy perspective on this. And I'd like to see here. My daughter's getting married in 5 weeks. Time to kick up my exercise. Oh, I have a lot of wedding ladies lately. I have a couple more that are taking the plunge themselves coming up. So, it's funny how we think about getting fit when we got to fit into that dress. Hey, there's a lot of things, don't discount toning and throw the scale in the garbage. If any of you are trying to get that summer body, weights are a really good way. They make the summer bodies in the winter. That's what we say up here in Canada. But, lifting weights and doing exercise, sometimes our skin, just by our skin becoming having better elasticity and our collagen levels being boosted, sometimes having tighter skin and having 2 butt cheeks versus 4 makes all the difference in that dress too. So, don't kill yourself if you don't feel like sweating to the oldies today. Do something, and these weights were a really good way, not only, like I said, get shape and strengthen, but to burn some calories. Love the concept is phenomenal. I have other click weights. I didn't pull them out today. I might do a comparison another day, and they're great. They're old school, but they're very encumbersome in how you adjust them. And if you don't do it just right, the one weight falls off all the time. So I really like how idiot proof the adjustments are on these for how much weight the top setting can actually offer. And, I was talking with my girlfriend. She's like, well, what are you going to do if you set it on the wrong setting? I'm like, well, I probably wouldn't be able to lift it. Right. So, they're quite safe. I sit in an office chair all day, and certainly affects my back. I was like using my Rumblex to loosen up these areas. So if you, I don't know if you watched me, Kim, but yeah, using that weight to lean over and stretch a little bit is awesome. You know, don't take on more than you're ready for, but it's just a really another nice way to just kind of mix things up on your plate. You don't need to come up with a new exercise routine all the time. Sometimes just adding very smart tools like these click weights. They're innovative. They take what you know you want to do and should be doing it and make it more convenient for you. So, you know, I've always wanted a big massive like weight set because I think it looks cool and look awesome in the background. But something like this is much more functional for my space and my lifestyle. You know, I don't have to get 10 people to move my equipment every time I want to take a different camera angle. Who else is here visiting me today? Perhaps is that it? Kim, you're such a diehard. Okay. Well, oh, my big dog is barking. There must be somebody at the front door. Maybe it's something I ordered from Lifepro. I hope today offered a little bit of insight. The biggest caution I will give you if you're not lifting with weights now, don't take on more than you're ready for. If you're looking at making an investment, you know, you want something that's versatile, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised with how easy these are to use, how easy they are to store. And like I say, they look pretty darn good too. So a couple of options there. That the PowerFlow Max is launching this week, $239, regular $399. So like I say, you're saving $140. You can't go wrong. Incremental weights as low as 5 pounds, as much as 80 pounds. So again, this is a big win for a lot of my guys out there that are looking for a little bit more challenge. Perhaps you're doing a little bit more at home. I know us up here in the colder weather in the winter, it's hard to get. You always maybe have the best of intention, but you know, certain activities we're just not as active certain times of the year. So it's nice to have these tools available. We like incorporating them with our other equipment, and something like this with all the toys that I have in my little studio here is just a big win, not only for challenge and the benefits I'll be able to kind of play with, but you know, the real estate commitment is not huge at all. So if I have no questions, I will let you get on with your weekend. Let me just make sure here. Well, I guess that's it. Well, Kim, I hope you're loving your new cryos that you won there a couple weeks ago. I look forward to maybe a testimonial or a yip yap on how that's going for you. And for those of you that do not work out with weights now, think about it, invest in it. Today's the day. And I'm sure you're going to see lots of videos to come, not only from us here, some of the coaches at Lifepro, but I think you're going to see a lot of users sharing their moves too. Sometimes, you know, with exercise, it's not that we don't have the best of his intentions, but you know, it's not always exciting. And if you're finding you're getting stagnant, things are taking a little longer than you'd like, you're getting used to that routine, pick things up, add a little bit of weight, and I think you'll find the time will certainly decrease substantially, but I think you'll see the benefits increase in equal comparison. Thanks so much, guys. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And I think we might be doing some core exercises on the vibration plates. So I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And is it core? I might be wrong. I am doing every Monday we do a whole body vibration exercise session. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure my lovely Lauren will correct me. But I will see you on Monday for a bit of a sweat fest. And I wish you all an awesome weekend. Thanks for joining me today.